Hi there. Now, we are all guilty of judging others and doubting the severity of their experience. We make judgments by what we have experienced in our own lives, despite not having the experience of the happenings and suffering of others. And of course, we make suggestions that come from kindness and concern, but may not always be the most helpful. Well, when it comes to ME, the sufferers are experts at their own illness, and it certainly gives them an insight into the lives of other ME sufferers. But even so, every case of ME is different. It's very individual. So again, we aren't really in a place to make judgment on how another deals with their own suffering. It's so easy to have our own viewpoints about people's abilities when it comes to ME. There's the assumption that if someone can do one thing, then they can do another, and that they're just being selective about activity, only doing what they want, and using the illness as an excuse not to do something. But these limitations are so very personal with ME. What one person finds easy, another might find extremely difficult. The actual suffering with ME has actually been likened to that of late-stage AIDS victims a few weeks from death. It's also being described as worse than the suffering of childbirth. But with childbirth, it's limited to a matter of hours, whereas with ME it goes on for decades. Plus, childbirth is optional, of course. Now, some may feel that these are an extreme description, but no, they're not. This is no exaggeration. Also, on top of the symptoms themselves, there's the day-to-day damage that this illness leaves behind. Suffering is mentally and emotionally scarring. There are chemicals in our brain that are responsible for the feeling of pleasure and well-being. They are vital for our mental health. And if we go without them, we suffer. So just as if the body suffers if it is deprived of what it physically needs, the mind suffers if deprived of what it emotionally needs. So it's not just the damage of the horrendous experience gone through, but also the damage of going without what a healthy mind needs. It's a terrifying disease and full of uncertainty of what the next moment will bring, but always knowing that it will bring horror. It's an illness where you constantly have to put on a brave face, as people assume you're not trying hard enough. But there are times when a brave face is not possible. So during those periods, please stand by the sufferers, validate their feelings, forgive their grumpiness, and even though you may not understand, take their word for it that things are as they are, and for by doing so you may give them the strength to continue. Well, thanks for watching. Bye.